go ahead and get started today. Thank you guys for joining me. My name is McCall Lehman. I am the Liberty Specialist here at SUSE, and we're here presenting alongside Dell Technologies to talk to you all about how you can conquer your Enterprise Linux LTSS. Ooh, if I could get my slides to go. There we go. There's me again. So before we get too into the weeds, I do want to talk to y'all a little bit about SUSE and who we are and what we do. So we are a global leader in innovative, reliable, and enterprise-grade open source solutions. SUSE solutions are powering thousands of blue chip customers' mission-critical workloads around the world. This includes electronic banking systems and enterprise applications, autonomous vehicles, satellite operations centers, and even life-saving medical devices, and so much more. You can see under our fast facts, we have our little bragging slide where we want you guys to know that we are in a lot of industries. So we are in 13 out of the 15 largest financial services firms, 14 out of 15 of the largest aerospace, 10 out of 10 automotive manufacturers, 13 out of 15 pharma companies, and then 5 out of 5 of the largest technology firms, which obviously includes Dell. You can see their logo right there under our partnerships. They've been one of our partners for a really long time, and we're really happy that we can bring this information to you guys today.
It looks like your slide did not go to the next slide.
Oh, it didn't? Oh. How's that? Can you see that?
No, it's still the first one. There you go.
So I'll leave the race card slide up just for a little while longer so you can see we've got our partnerships, and then we also have the industry initiatives and the groups that we are a part of as well. Sorry about that. I can't see my screen very well right now. Okay, so now let's look at what's going on in the current market as well. So today, businesses have to offer their goods and services in a very different way than they previously did. Businesses need to integrate digital technology, software, and infrastructure into everything that they're doing. It has resulted in a fundamental shift in business culture, operational processes, as well as the value delivered to customers and how we deliver that value to customers. To respond quickly, businesses need to take an agile approach to IT, software development, and their delivery. The customers that we serve need software applications in multiple different environments, running more and more of them as a service, while at the same time being able to keep core applications on-premise for compliance or security reasons. A lot of customers we've seen are moving those legacy applications into the cloud in order to gain that agility and reduce their cost. At the same time, they're trying to increase their compute power and network speeds converge. Their applications and data need to move towards the edge so that we can improve performance and transact business faster. So again, think those medical devices, think financial services. These two companies need to be at the edge in order to improve better and improve faster. So there's a lot of opportunities and challenges that come with all of this. For example, workloads that include mission-critical workloads have to be available to run anywhere, on premises and across the clouds as containers or even within virtual machines as well. Application modernization and migration to the cloud are also required, together with the need to consistently manage hybrid cloud infrastructure included at the edge, and then you've got fragmentation at the edge on top of that, in addition to potential security and scaling challenges. In order to help these customers achieve all of that, here at SUSE, we are here to support them, to allow them to freely innovate everywhere, to allow y'all to freely innovate everywhere. We're uniquely positioned to do this because we have two of the core technologies that are required for this, Linux OS and Kubernetes. And it turns out we are a leader in both of these things. So to back it up even more, I know that y'all are here to learn about how to conquer your LTSS. So the implication is that you guys do know what open source is, but we kind of want to talk about why we have to have this conversation in the first place, right? So really, when it comes to open source, It's that no restriction for distribution. That's a super common theme. This is something that SUSE is dedicated to, and it really leads into us allowing our customers, allowing y'all, to have that freedom to innovate anywhere and everywhere you need to. So when SUSE creates something, and this is true to this day, and this will be true until we die, it's with the health of the entire ecosystem in mind. So take it into example, our open build service. This is what we use to build our SUSE Linux enterprise servers and all of our upstream projects. But not only does SUSE use it, it's also used by many other Linux distributions. You can kind of see them grayed out underneath the SUSE ones as their default build method in order to create, and this, excuse me, this is also the official build out method for Kubernetes as of 2023. So we're very, very proud of our OBS. By contrast, Red Hat COPR tooling only does their Fedora RPM packages. So even ISVs that are building out their upstream projects prefer to use SUSE's OBS, because not only can you develop on SUSE, but you can also develop for RHEL, Fedora, Windows, everything that we have listed here. So again, we really do believe in this open source thing. So how can SUSE support other Linux environments? Well, Linux code is developed and maintained by the community as a whole. So the whole idea is nobody really owns it and everybody works on it. The community created code is packaged, tested, and supported by commercial Linux vendors like SUSE. And then we create these enterprise Linux distributions with these patches and updates that we have tested and approved. Any distribution can have around 140,000 different packages and incorporate from thousands of different communities. Commercial Linux vendors such as SUSE can produce their own fixes and patches, and we get fixes and patches from the community as soon as they're checked. Open source communities are the final authority on accepting fixes, patches, and updates, regardless of who developed them. So even if SUSE created a patch or Red Hat created a patch, previously it has been down to the open source community to say, yes, this is what works, and no, this isn't what works. So we can support RHEL servers by repackaging these updates and using these repackaged updates that have been tested extensively by SUSE before they're released to the customers or require any support. Now, there has been some recent changes in the market, specifically when we're looking at Linux OS. So there's definitely some things that we should be paying attention to when it comes from what's going on in the Red Hat and IBM space. Ultimately, last year, RHEL decided that they were going to remove their code from public availability. So this does kind of bring into question, how are they, still calling themselves open source? How is it still a Linux distribution if they're no longer publicly available and adding to the community at large? And if they're no longer adding to the community at large, how can a company like SUSE continue to offer support for your CentOS 7 or your RHEL 7 distributions? Well, last year, with the help of Oracle and CIQ, we actually forked RHEL, and we've made it available to the community. So the goal is for this to become a community-driven standard in its own right. Today, it is derived from the base from RHEL, but it's our hope that the community will grow this distribution. Anyone is able to build on OpenELA without any additional licensing restrictions being imposed. Like, the whole point was to make sure that Enterprise Linux remained open and available to our community, the community that we love and support. So really, we are trying to preserve that choice, make sure that y'all have that option to choose what OS you go with. And then, just so that y'all are aware, OpenELA is initially providing that support for Enterprise Linux versions 8 and 9, and potentially 7. So what are we going to do about 7? How can we support RHEL 7 and CentOS 7? Well, OpenELA is a huge part of how SUSE is able to do that, because we have all of these resources, working with Oracle, working with CIQ, to make sure that we're continuing to provide patches, upgrades, and support for these OSs. So with our multi-Linux support, really we've got two options here for you guys. The first one is to allow y'all to maintain your environment. This at a discounted price, right? That's the big key here. We want to make sure that y'all are optimizing your IT budget and that you're not having to have these exorbitant costs for your LTSS environment. So with our support, it is at a discounted cost, and we will actually be supporting y'all for the next 5 years at this price point. So this is long life support, LTSS, which is what SUSE calls it, for your RHEL 7 and your CentOS 7 environments. Fully compatible, so that is backwards binary compatible. There is almost no disruption in order to change over, and it's actually not a migration. So this is a port over solution, meaning it's going to be minimal downtime to you, and you can continue to run your systems as you always have and get really stellar support and continue to remain secure with the patches and upgrades. Just instead of coming from Red Hat, they would come from SUSE. The other thing that maintaining your environment includes is we have our multi-Linux management tool. So essentially what this is a single pane of glass, a console that you're able to pull in multiple different Linux distributions. So think about it as satellite from SUSE, but we have the added benefit of not just supporting and managing SUSE OSs, but supporting 17 different ones. So we can manage your CentOS, we can manage Rocky, Alma, any of the big ones that y'all can think of, OEL, RHEL, all can be managed through the single pane of glass. This gives you control over your environment, allows you the ability to do your own proactive upgrade planning, as well as make sure that you remain compliant. And then with our support also comes the option to modernize. So the idea is that if you're able to save money when it comes to your LTSS for RHEL 7, that you're actually able to free up these legacy dollars so that you can modernize your business, whether it's with SUSE or any other projects that you guys have currently in the works and have been wanting to implement, but you just don't have the budget. Migrating and architecture are you can migrate to the architecture that is best in class, which is Linux, or you can even go straight to containers, which is Rancher and Rancher Prime, which we've relaunched this year with a lot of cool bells and whistles. So I highly recommend that y'all look into that. So I've been talking a lot about SUSE, and that was because I work at SUSE. So I wanted to make it a point to touch base on what the partnership between SUSE and Dell is, why we're coming together to talk to y'all, all that fun stuff. So Dell has actually been a partner with SUSE for a very long time. We together have created a lot of different offerings with the goal of adding more value, having to cost less effort and less worry, with the added benefit of no lock-in. So SUSE wants to make sure that y'all are using the workloads on the correct operating system. Dell wants to make sure that you're using the correct hardware for those workloads as well. Previously, we've created multiple joint ventures, and the two big ones that we have right now are SAP for HANA solution. SUSE is Dell's #1 choice for that, as well as we've worked to integrate Dell EMC Power Protection Manager with Rancher Manage RKE downstream Kubernetes. It's a mouthful. So we are tied at the hip. We are coming out into the market with ideas together. And that's really where this partnership has started, and it continues to grow, where you can actually procure your SUSE multi-Linux support and SUSE multi-Linux manager from Dell. So if we are active partners, we actively work together with them. If you guys need any more information or you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your Dell rep for more information on SUSE. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that is how close our partnership really is. And I would be remiss if I didn't leave you with our SUSE contact as well. So Brandon Smith is the SUSE partner executive for Dell. He works at SUSE, but works very closely with all of the Dell representatives to ensure that you guys are getting the right solution for your workloads. If you want to get more information on modernizing with SUSE or pricing information, he can help you. He can help get that information not only to you, but to your Dell representative as well. So please, you can contact Brandon directly, or you can include him when you reach out to your Dell representative. And I know we had this blocked for a full hour, but I talk really fast, for fortunately or unfortunately, and that brings us to the end. Do you guys have any questions that I could answer? Then you can put them in the chat if you do, and if not, that's okay too.
Yep, and feel free to put them in the question section on the control panel. That way it's a little bit easier for us to see which questions have already been answered.
Awesome. Well, if you think of any questions, please, again, feel free to reach out to Brandon or your Dell representative, and we will get those answers to you. Thank you guys so much for your time. This has been really great.